Serious incident with submarine cables sparks concerns over potential sabotage. Russia conducts missile strike amid rising tensions. Zhao Guangjun, a journalist with a hidden agenda. Finland's defense costs and NATO comparisons. In the early morning of November 18, 2024, a severe incident occurred as the Sea Lion 1 submarine cable connecting Helsinki, Finland, and Rostock, Germany, was completely severed. Simultaneously, another cable between Sweden and Lithuania was damaged. This has raised suspicions of possible sabotage, attracting attention from numerous countries and international organizations. According to Sinoi, the disruption on the Sea Lion 1 cable was detected at 4:04 a.m. on Monday, with a complete disconnection occurring just 11 seconds later. The break's location was pinpointed within approximately 10 meters on the Baltic seabed. Currently, a repair ship from France is being deployed to the site and is expected to begin work early next week. In response to the incident, Finland and Sweden have formed a joint investigation team. Deputy Director Timo Kilpär-Leinen of the Finnish Central Criminal Police stated that investigators are working to gather evidence before the repair ship arrives. Authorities have not ruled out sabotage, though no official details about the perpetrators have been disclosed. At the time of the incident, the Chinese cargo ship Yipeng 3 was reported near the damaged cable. Marine traffic data revealed that its location signal disappeared for several hours, heightening NATO countries' suspicions and prompting close monitoring by Swedish and Danish naval vessels. Although the incident has not significantly affected Finland's energy security or societal operations, submarine cables are critical for international information connectivity. The event has intensified concerns over cybersecurity and infrastructure safety. The U.S., through the Federal Communications Commission (FCC), has called for stricter global regulations to protect submarine cables. In response, the Chinese embassy in Washington condemned allegations of sabotage as politicized and counterproductive to the development of the submarine cable industry. Meanwhile, the EU and NATO are closely monitoring the situation. Lithuanian Prime Minister Ingrida Šimonytė has urged for strong measures if the investigation concludes sabotage occurred. Submarine cables, vital to global communications, have increasingly become strategic targets in modern conflicts. This incident underscores the urgent need for enhanced security measures for these critical systems. On Thursday morning, Russia launched an unprecedented missile strike on Dnipro, Ukraine. President Vladimir Putin announced the use of a new medium-range missile named Oreznik in the attack, in retaliation for Ukraine's use of US-supplied ATACMS and UK's Storm Shadows to strike targets within Russia. In a televised address, Putin emphasized Russia's readiness to escalate its response to military provocations, pressuring Western allies of Ukraine to reconsider further attacks. Military experts suggest Putin risks his credibility if he fails to follow through on these threats. However, the announcement that Russia had informed the US of the strike in advance has helped reduce the risk of nuclear escalation. Although typically designed for nuclear warheads, the missile used non-lethal dummy warheads, signaling a deliberate warning to the West. Experts criticize the use of such an expensive weapon for targeting the Pivdenmash missile plant, calling it wasteful when smaller missiles like Iskander could suffice. However, Putin likely aimed to showcase Russia's possession of advanced, virtually unstoppable weaponry capable of carrying any type of warhead. While this tactic seeks to ramp up pressure amidst Western arms supplies to Ukraine, it also exacerbates international tensions. Both Ukraine and Russia face mounting challenges in manpower and economic resources, potentially paving the way for negotiations in the near future. Zhao Guangjun, a Chinese journalist who once resided in East Helsinki, was in fact an intelligence officer for China's Ministry of State Security. Zhao arrived in Finland in 2011 and lived in an affluent neighborhood, remembered by neighbors as a friendly individual who often invited them over for dinner. However, Nordic intelligence agencies had been secretly investigating Zhao. He was a key figure in a 2018 case in Sweden, where a spy was convicted of espionage against the Tibetan community. Zhao was believed to have paid this agent in cash while tasked with gathering information in Finland and Sweden. An investigation by the MOT team and European partners revealed many similar cases across Europe, where China used the cover of journalism to conceal intelligence operations. Although Zhao was not charged in Finland, the case has raised concerns about the extent of Chinese intelligence infiltration. Finland, one of the few European countries to maintain mandatory military service, faces challenges in comparing its defense costs to other NATO countries. Researchers note that NATO currently does not account for the opportunity costs of conscription when evaluating defense budgets of member states. This has led to Finland's actual defense expenses being underestimated. A 2021 report by the ETLA Economic Research Institute stated that if the value of soldiers' time were calculated based on the average wage, Finland's conscription costs would amount to about 0.4% of GDP. Including these costs would bring Finland's defense budget close to 3% of GDP, far exceeding NATO's current 2% target. Politicians such as Jari Ronkainen and Mika Kari argue that Finland should push for recognition of these costs within NATO to ensure transparency and fairness in comparisons. However, there are differing opinions, with some believing Finland should focus on improving real defense capabilities rather than changing accounting methods. The Louhunsalmi bridge in Seinäjoki, Jyväskylä, suffered a serious incident when a supporting cable snapped over the weekend. Starting Monday, traffic on the bridge has been limited to one vehicle at a time, with these restrictions expected to last at least until next year, according to Tuula Smolander, head of Jyväskylä Street Management. The bridge is not at immediate risk of collapse, but strong winds could force its full closure. Currently, only passenger cars and light trucks under 3,500 kilograms are allowed to cross, while pedestrians are banned due to the danger of falling cables. The cause of the cable failure remains undetermined, though initial inspections revealed rust at a connection point likely exacerbated by storm winds. The cable served as supplemental support installed after the bridge's construction. The incident has caused significant traffic congestion, with queues stretching up to 800 meters during peak hours. Local residents are urged to be patient and follow temporary traffic guidance. On Friday morning, November 22, an overturned truck on Nelostie between the Vater Risto and Lucy interchanges Heinola, Hijet Harmer disrupted traffic for several hours. Preliminary findings indicate the accident was caused by harsh weather conditions, with severe road icing. The accident occurred around 3:30 a.m. According to Mika Terervala, the rescue commander, the situation was among the most hazardous ever recorded, with the road completely slick like glass. By approximately 9 a.m., traffic was allowed to move through the area in intervals. However, clearing the congestion was challenging due to the lack of suitable detours. Long lines of trucks, stretching hundreds of meters, further complicated movement. The overturned truck sustained significant damage, particularly to its cab. Its cargo had to be transferred to another vehicle before the truck could be lifted and removed. The truck driver was hospitalized but fortunately did not suffer serious injuries. Mariko Varsair News, director of Pimara Valar Palver Lutoi, the company responsible for maintaining the road, stated that the road had been salted and plowed before midnight the previous evening. However, unusual weather conditions caused rapid deterioration of road conditions, leading to the accident. Traffic on this stretch of road returned to normal by early afternoon. According to the latest report from Finland's Ministry of Economic Affairs and Employment (TEM), unemployment is expected to continue rising in 2025. The number of unemployed job seekers is forecast to reach 302,000, compared to 288,000 this year and 260,000 in 2023. Despite slight economic recovery and lower interest rates, the labor market has yet to improve. The government's fiscal tightening policies, including cuts to social benefits and tax increases, are said to have weakened economic confidence. Labor Minister Erito Satonen emphasized that economic recession and weak exports are the main causes. However, he expressed hope that labor reforms will start to yield results next year. The forecast also indicates that sectors such as construction and manufacturing will continue to struggle, while the consumer service industry may recover by early 2025. Nevertheless, the number of long-term unemployed is projected to exceed 100,000 next year. A total of 68 Finnish cities will raise income taxes in 2025, while 4 cities will reduce taxes, and 236 will keep rates unchanged. Small cities like Pohjois-Karjala will have the highest tax rate at 10.9%, while Kauniainen, known as the tax haven, will maintain the lowest rate at 4.7%. Most tax increases will occur in economically struggling regions such as South Ostrobothnia and Central Ostrobothnia. Notably, Kauniainen will make a slight increase of 0.3 percentage points, primarily due to the burden from social and healthcare reform. Meanwhile, 31 cities are also adjusting property taxes to boost revenue, totaling €2.4 billion. These changes are expected to stabilize local finances, though challenges remain. Snowmobile safaris in Lapland attract many tourists but come with risks. Each winter, the Lapland Central Hospital handles dozens of accident cases, and on average, there is one fatality every 2 years. To enhance safety, a new draft law is being proposed to impose fines of up to €100,000 on tour operators neglecting safety responsibilities. If passed by Parliament, the law will take effect at the beginning of next year. According to Maricus Kalari, co-owner of Apuka Resort, the regulation is necessary to ensure companies strictly adhere to safety guidelines. Companies will need to invest in guide training and equipment maintenance. However, some operators still cut corners, such as conducting tours on weak ice or skipping snowmobile maintenance. Safety Inspector Jaakko Leininen noted that while most businesses comply with regulations, there are alarming instances of negligence, such as driving buses loaded with tourists on unsafe frozen lakes. The new law aims to improve corporate accountability and enhance safety, ensuring a fun and reliable experience for tourists. SAC criticizes the Finnish government for exacerbating unemployment. Chief economist Ilkka Kaukoranta of SAC has condemned the government for implementing cuts during a recession, arguing that these measures have contributed to a higher unemployment rate. He noted that reductions in social welfare undermine purchasing power and decrease domestic consumption, leading to prolonged unemployment. A report from the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Employment (TEM) indicates that unemployment has risen faster than expected this autumn, with the number of long-term unemployed projected to increase from the current 96,000 to 112,000 over the next 2 years. Minister of Employment Eero Satonen acknowledged the impact of these cuts but insisted they were necessary to balance the national budget despite the economic challenges. He remains optimistic that these measures will yield long-term benefits for Finland. Due to a strike by the Finnish Air Transport Pilot Association (SLL), Finnair will cancel 300 flights from December 9 to 13, affecting over 33,000 passengers. Finnair announced efforts to provide alternative flights but admitted it cannot guarantee equivalent routes for all passengers due to the sheer volume of disruptions. Customers will be notified with detailed information via the app and booking management services. SLL is demanding higher wages and improvements to the pension system, but negotiations with the Service Sector Employers Association (PALTA) have yet to yield results. PALTA considers these demands excessive but remains committed to seeking a resolution through continued negotiations. The Pro-Trade Union has issued its fourth strike warning for November 21, targeting 32 workplaces in the technology industry. This strike is scheduled for December 10, 2024. Previously, Pro had issued strike warnings for shifts on December 3, 4, and 9 due to stalled negotiations on a technology sector labor agreement. Meanwhile, the Federation of Finnish Technology Industries has also issued its fourth strike warning for the same date. Finland is implementing a large-scale replacement of old 2G-based electricity meters with new smart meters, aiming for completion by 2029 when the 2G network will cease operation. The new meters allow for more precise electricity consumption management, particularly beneficial for households using spot-priced electricity. Devices such as floor heating can automatically turn off during peak electricity prices and resume operation during off-peak hours, enabling significant cost savings for users. Notably, only the company Alenia has taken advantage of this feature, while others await clearer legal regulations. Currently, approximately 300,000 new meters have been installed, but only 3,000 households have started utilizing the energy-saving features. From 2026, when new laws are expected to be finalized, these smart energy management features will be rolled out more widely, offering substantial cost-saving opportunities for residents. Recently, the number of complaints about Kerala submitted to the Finnish Parliamentary Ombudsman has risen sharply. The main reason stems from Kerala frequently requesting applicants to provide additional documents, even when they have already submitted all required paperwork. These errors prolong the processing time for benefits, severely impacting those reliant on this support. According to Tapio Ratu, advisor to the parliamentary ombudsman, the errors are primarily due to Kerala employees not having enough time to thoroughly review applications. Furthermore, the lack of a fixed assignment system makes it difficult for staff to fully grasp the status of individual cases. Kerala employees admit that work pressure and high productivity targets are significant factors leading to mistakes. However, Kerala does not consider this a major issue and insists that benefit decisions are made fairly and consistently. Although this year's 400 complaints are relatively small compared to the 1.5 million benefit applications processed, it signals a concern over service quality and the psychological burden on Kerala employees. An increasing number of restaurants and fast food outlets in Finland have been found to have serious issues with hygiene and food safety, prompting authorities to enforce stricter measures. According to the OIVA reporting system, the number of establishments receiving the sad face rating, the lowest grade, has grown significantly in recent years. The main problems involve improper food temperature management, such as inadequate cooling, storage, and temperature logging. Additionally, many establishments have been found lacking in cleanliness, with poor facility maintenance, and even instances of pests like insects and rodents. Experts attribute these issues primarily to financial struggles and a shortage of skilled personnel. Jari Jokinen, chief food hygiene inspector in Turku, noted that increased inspections after the pandemic have brought long-standing issues to light. Nevertheless, the Tourism and Restaurant Association MARA emphasized that the majority of restaurants comply well with regulations. MARA called for more focused inspections on frequently violating establishments to improve the situation. Millions of kilograms of leftover food from schools and daycare centers in Finland are wasted each year, despite efforts to sell some of it at low prices to reduce waste. In Louhunsalmi, around 2,000 portions of surplus meals from schools and daycare centers go to waste daily. To address this, the Kailan Kato service began offering surplus food through the Res-Q app last spring. Customers can purchase meals for €3 per liter, with prices automatically reduced if unsold. However, only about 37% of the surplus food in Louhunsalmi is sold. Many believe the short pickup time, just a few hours in the afternoon, is the main reason for low consumption. Currently, the service has expanded to 9 regions in Finland, with an average sales rate of 70%. Kailan Kato's plans to implement this system in all schools and daycare centers in Louhunsalmi to reduce waste and assist the community, particularly retirees, the unemployed, and families with young children. Climate change is presenting significant challenges to Finland's construction systems. Warmer and wetter winters are making buildings more susceptible to mold damage. Additionally, frequent temperature fluctuations between freezing and thawing are causing more severe structural damage. According to Professor Anu Soikali from the University of Oulu, regular maintenance is essential for buildings to adapt to harsher weather conditions. She suggested that buildings should undergo periodic inspections, similar to cars, to detect issues early. However, further research is needed to determine specific monitoring indicators such as temperature or humidity. Modern buildings, with their multi-layered material structures, are more vulnerable to climate impacts, especially moisture infiltration causing internal damage. In contrast, traditional structures, such as wooden or brick buildings, are more resilient to changing weather conditions. Soikali emphasized that repairing and maintaining old buildings is the best solution, as new construction not only harms the environment but also consumes significant resources.